Hello dear students, I hope you will be fine, happy and healthy today. Today we are going to talk about presentation 8, page number 100, and the title of the activity is Stating and Evaluating Alternative. Stating mean बयान करना, evaluating mean जायज़ा लेना, मतलब उनके फ़वाइद और नक़ाइस बयान करना, alternatives मुख्तलिफ मुतबादिल चीज़ों की. So here they have used to state alternative, use could plus verb. Could plus verb. When you are stating alternative, you should use could plus. मतलब first of all, we should use subject, and after subject we should use could auxiliary verb, could model auxiliary, and then verb past form, and then rest of the sentence. Right? And to talk about their advantages and disadvantages, use will have to plus verb form or might be able to plus verb past form. Mean when we are talking about the advantages and disadvantages of alternative, मुतबादिल के फ़वाइद और नक़ाइस के बारे में जब हम बात करते हैं, सो वी शुड यूज सच लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. फॉर एग्जांपल फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सब्जेक्ट, फिर विल बी एबल टू, मतलब वो इस काबिल होंगे कि, और माइट बी एबल टू प्लस वर्ब पास्ट फॉर्म, शायद वो इस काबिल होंगे कि. यही स्ट्रक्चर फिर हमने इस्तेमाल करना है. यहाँ उन्होंने जो डिस्कशन की है, लेज इज़ नाउ वर्किंग फॉर वर्ल्ड एयरलाइन इन न्यूयॉर्क सिटी. अभी न्यूयॉर्क सिटी में वो लेज जो है वो वर्ल्ड एयरलाइन के लिए काम कर रही है. वेयर शुड शी लिव, उन्हें कहाँ रहनी चाहिए. तो पहले यहाँ पर उन्होंने अल्टरनेटिव बयान किया है, वेयर शुड शी लिव, उन्हें कहाँ रहनी चाहिए. सो एक एग्जाम्पल उन्होंने किताब में दिया है, यू कैन रीड इट इन द बुक एज वेल, that she could live at home in Winfield and commute to work. ये भी मुमकिन है, ये पॉसिबिलिटी भी है कि शी कुड लिव एट होम, वो घर पर रह सकती है विनफील्ड में, एंड कम्यूट एंड वर्क, और काम के लिए रोज़ाना जा सकती है और आ सकती है अपने विनफील्ड से. सेकंड अल्टरनेटिव है, she could find a roommate and share an apartment with in New York. She could find a roommate, वो एक रूममेट भी पा सकती है, and could share an apartment in New York, में एक अपार्टमेंट शेयर भी कर सकती है. दूसरा अल्टरनेटिव यही भी है. और तीसरा जो है, she could find a small apartment in New York and live alone. She could find a small apartment in New York and she could live alone. अकेली भी न्यूयॉर्क में एक छोटा सा अपार्टमेंट वो अपने लिए किराए पर ले सकती है और इसमें अकेले भी रह सकती है. सो दीज थ्री अल्टरनेटिव इज देयर, that she could commute, she could live with a roommate, or she could live alone. So all these three are the alternative, and we when we are talking about alternative, we should use this structure, could plus verb past form. Now the second portion is advantages and disadvantages. Mean when we are evaluating alternative, when we are discussing about its advantages and disadvantages. So how can we will talk about? So here the first one is they have said that living alone is a good idea. Living alone is a good idea. अकेला रहना एक अच्छा नजरिया है. If she lives alone, अगर वो अकेली रहती है, she will be able to decorate her apartment the way she lives. तो she will be able to decorate her apartment the way she live. वो जिस तरीके से अपने अपार्टमेंट की सजावट करनी चाहती है तो इसी तरीके से वो करेगी. और बी है, राइट, she won't have to pick up her thing if she doesn't want to. Right? B say that she won't have to pick up her thing if she doesn't want to. अगर वो नहीं चाहते हैं कि अपने चीज़ों को उठा ले तो वो इसे नहीं उठा लेगी. और सी बंदा फिर कहता है, yes, if she lives alone, अगर वो अकेली रहती है, she will have to spend all the salary on rent. She will have to spend all the salary on रेंट. वो अपना सारा सैलरी जो है वो रेंट पर खर्च करेगी. शी माइट नॉट बी एबल टू एंजॉय लाइफ इन न्यूयॉर्क, एंड शी माइट नॉट बी एबल टू, विल बी एबल टू, वोंट बी एबल टू, माइट बी एबल टू, माइट नॉट बी एबल टू. positive or negative sentences, both the structure we can talk in this way. So that was the main presentation. When we are talking about alternative, we should use the dear student could plus verb past form structure. And when we are talking about the advantages and disadvantages of alternative, so we can use this structure to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the alternatives. Will be able to or won't be able to. Similarly, might be able to or might not be able to. We can use these alternative to discuss different kind of thing. If we talk about the if we talk about the past exercise, the past practice, so here they say complete the following sentences using use the useful vocabulary for ideas. In the useful vocabulary they have used busy, clean, commute mean आना जाना काम के लिए, eat, economize on mean बचत करना, go out, go to, help, lesson, pay for, pay rent, किराया अदा करना, save, spend, take classes. So the first alternative is living in Winfield is a good idea. Living in Winfield is a good idea. If Liz live in Winfield, if Liz live in Winfield, she will be able to save money on rent. She will be able to save the money on rent. Number two, she won't have to pay for rent. She won't have to pay for rent. Third one, she will have to commute every day. She will have to commute every day to Winfield and then come back. And the fourth one, she won't be able to go to the movies a lot. She won't be able to go to the parks in New York a lot, etc. Second number says alternative. Getting a roommate is a good idea or bad idea. अगर उनके roommate हो तो good idea है या bad idea है. तो if Liz gets a roommate, she might have to cook the food on her choice. She will be able to gossip with her a lot. She might not be able to cook her own choice of food, and she won't have to listen to the music which she likes, or she won't have to spend a lot of money on the rent, we can also say. Yeah, and she might not be able to listen to the music of her own choice. And the third one says living alone is a good or bad idea. We talked about this one. If Liz gets a roommate, सेकंड नंबर है, if Liz gets a roommate, अगर Liz को एक roommate मिल जाती है, so she will have to take the food which her roommate like, and she would be able to gossip her roommate a lot. And the third one, living alone is a good or bad idea. If Liz lives alone, अगर वो अकेली रहती है, she might have to cook her own, she might have to pay the rent. Similarly, she will be able to study a lot. She might not be able to gossip with any friend a lot, and she won't have to watch a lot of movies in the company of her friends, because there will be no friend with her. So actually, dear students, we are talking about the alternatives and similarly the advantages and disadvantages of alternative. So for example, if we are talking about any kind of exercise, so exercise is a good way. If you want to do exercise, you could run in the morning time, you could play any game. That is also so many type of exercise are there. You could do aerobics, एरोबिक्स जो मुख्तलिफ पीटी शूज़ हैं वही भी कर सकते हैं। और जब हम डिस्कशन करते हैं, इफ़ यू टेक एक्सरसाइज, इफ़ यू डू एक्सरसाइज, you will be able to be in good shape, you will be able to be healthy, you will be able to be energetic, right? Similarly, if you take exercise, you might be able to remain healthy, and you might be able to do any kind of work, you might be able to run fast, right? Similarly, if you take exercise, you won't be able to waste your time in trivial and trivial or such activities which are unhealthy. So in this way you can talk about be able to, मतलब आप इस काबिल होंगे कि ये कर ले, आप शायद इस काबिल होंगे कि ये कर ले, और अगर नेगेटिव हो तो you won't be able to do such and such thing, आप इस काबिल नहीं होंगे कि ये आपका ये काम कर ले, और you might not be able to do such and such thing. These are the alternative, right? If you study for the CSS exam, so you might not be able to play a lot, you might not be able to waste your time in trivial and trivial thing. Similarly, if you study a lot for the CSS exam, you will be able to pass the other test quite easily, because if you study at that level, the other NTS type test or other test become very easy for you then. So will be able to, won't be able to, might be able to, might not be able to. You should try to learn this structure, and you should also try to learn the code formula well for alternative. I hope you will have learned up to some extent. Try to watch it again and again in order to get command upon it, and try to share with all your near and dear one. And if your base is a little bit weak, if you don't understand these things very well, try to learn from the beginning, from the first video, so your base will become better, and then you will be able to understand each and every kind of activity easily. Thank you so much. Khuda Hafiz.